Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Let's get right to my open. In case you didn't know it, Joe Biden is the President of the United States in name only. Someone else is running the White House. Barack Obama, maybe? Come along with me and see if what I say makes sense. Now, from the beginning of his campaign, we knew he wasn't right. We kept asking ourselves, what was wrong with him? He was clearly confused, saying crazy things.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
We couldn't ask questions because they kept pulling him back behind the COVID curtain as if they were hiding something. At the same time that President Trump was campaigning around the clock, Joe Biden was hunkered down under the COVID storm, at least until the inquiries passed. But even then, he was often unaware of where he was or where he was going.
How are your meetings going in Cornwall, Mr. President?
I beg your pardon?
How are your meetings going here in Cornwall?
Very well.
Come on. Joe, pay attention.
And then with the help of big tech and Mark Zuckerberg, with $419 million in-kind contributions, no negative stories about Joe Biden and that Hunter Biden laptop were allowed to see the light of day. And Joe Biden became the President of the United States. To continue the charade, the White House built a fake Oval Office for Joe Biden in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. They say it's bigger and provides an area for journalists. Why? Biden doesn't take questions from them. The real reason, according to White House aficionados, he can read a script from a face-on monitor without the teleprompter glass that can be seen on camera, i.e. without your knowing. As long as he can read, he doesn't have to think, which in itself proves his ineptitude over and over again. And as onlookers, we struggle. Is he a liar, or is he simply incompetent? Unaware? He says one thing and then does another.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide. If there's American citizens left, we're going to stay till we get them all out.
And then he reverses himself by simply lying and saying he never said that or was never told things like essential troop information by his military, each of which contradicted him.
Your military advisors did not tell you, no, we should just keep 2,500 troops. It's been a stable situation for the last several years. We can do that. We can continue to do that.
No, no one said that to me that I can recall.
But the most troubling of all are the repeated statements that he's going to get into trouble if he keeps answering questions.
I'm sorry I'm going to get in trouble with staff if I don't do this the right way. A lot of people here, I apologize. I'm going to get in trouble.
No president in United States history has ever spoken like this. What are we supposed to conclude when the most powerful man in the free world says that someone will reprimand him if he doesn't do what they tell him to do? Is someone else in charge? By the way, have you noticed Joe Biden is carrying out the same policies that Barack Obama had? Open borders, trashing the police, saying he's with an international community when such is not the case. But the proof is in the pudding. Look at this graph of individuals who worked in the Obama administration who are now working for Joe Biden. And by the way, how is it that Kamala Harris, who was Joe Biden's choice for vice president, was even given that opportunity, given the fact that she called him out on his racist beliefs? And why would someone as clueless as Cackler Kamala, who had to drop out of a presidential primary because she couldn't get 1%, How is it that she's now the Vice President of the United States? Think back to Barack Obama's affection for Kamala Harris. You have to be careful to, first of all, say she is brilliant and she is dedicated and she is tough and she is exactly what you'd want in anybody who is administering the law and making sure that everyone is getting a fair shake. According to Obama, she also happens to be by far the best-looking attorney general in the country. And do you remember during the debate phase of the presidential campaign, it was reported that Joe Biden's handlers agreed to a pre-debate inspection for electronic earpieces. But shortly before the debate, they reversed themselves and declined. And after the election, when discussing with Stephen Colbert on what a third term could have looked like, Barack Obama said the following.
I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
So I ask you, who do you think is running the White House? And that's my open. Let me know what you think on my Facebook and Twitter, #Judge Jeanine.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.